Yo, 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 what's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Couple of Dads with myself, Roony.
I'm EJ.
7.
We're
Episode
back.
7.
Episode 7.
There we go. So,
And we're rolling.
how's Mabel and Marley this week?
Yeah. They're good, you know. Yeah, they're very good. So Marley decided she wanted to do Muay Thai.
Oh, nice.
I think she was out here just trying to kick some ass, if I'm honest.
Nice.
Sorry about the language.
Who's wound her up?
I don't know, probably me.
Come here with a black eye next week.
I'll
I
be
know what's
honest.
happened.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Probably me. You'll get to see a video of me getting put into an armbar or something. But yeah, because Marley, she doesn't do things in halves. She's got a thing with her teeth called hypodontia.
Okay.
So she has to have braces, and she's got loads of teeth missing and all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. So she has to go to the London hospital, regular appointments and that. But they said that she can't do it anymore because she can't get a gum shield that will cover her braces. Oh man, she was fuming.
Can't she just go and not spar, like just train?
I think she'd have to just get in and get mixed up. if
Oh,
I'm honest.
really?
Probably.
Oh, she's gone like that.
Probably.
Yeah?
She was doing quite well last week, to be fair. But so that's the end of that. So it'll be something else. She'll have to find something else for her. Maybe. I know she was saying she liked netball the other week as well.
Okay.
So.
Well, I done karate when I was younger. Give her a try with karate.
Yeah,
It's
I tried that.
it's
As
less
well.
physical, but it's a
think
good
that.
discipline, you know.
Yeah, it gives you discipline.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
You know
I
what
learned
mean?
a lot from it.
Same.
Yeah.
Even though I only did it for a little while, it was all right. I did it in a place called Avenues. To be fair,
Yeah.
it was quite sick.
And how's Mabel?
Oh mate,
You had a bit of a
it's been a bit of a crazy
yeah.
week. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. Let's talk about Brandon first, because this is going to take a while. So let's talk about Brandon.
Yeah, no,
How's
he's
Brandon been this
He's
week,
good.
bro?
He's good. He went back to baby sensory today.
Oh, yeah?
Knackered him out. It did.
I bet it did.
Yeah. So he come back at sensory overload. Big nap. But Kerry said he loved it. He was back with his little gang.
There you go, man. See it there?
A lot of the mums who go there were the NCT mums.
Yeah.
So like you know, it's like the same little group.
Same
So,
crew.
Yeah. So he's back in that,
Wicked.
and he's had a good week.
Active, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's about the boy. He's
I had a
about.
few days off this week as well, so he's had me about a bit more this week as well.
That's good though,
yeah,
man.
yeah, definitely.
It's always a good time when you can just chill or play and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, of course,
you know what I
man.
mean?
You
It's
feel
always good.
it gives you them extra little bonus,
Yeah.
them bonus days to
Yeah,
you know
man.
like fully be there and do whatever you got to do. But saying that, I've had a bit of I felt a bit tired this week.
Yeah.
And I was a bit off.
Yeah.
So Kerry caught me napping a couple of times. Didn't go down well.
I bet it did, boy. Jesus Christ.
It didn't go down well, but yeah. So I've had to deal with that as well. You know what I mean? Like you have to nick one, and then you feel guilty all day for having a nap.
Oh boy.
If times have changed.
Where was you napping though?
No, I was on the sofa. I don't normally, you know me, I don't normally sleep like that.
Bruv,
but
man.
I don't know. I was a bit off, but yeah, like obviously when she knew I wasn't feeling great, it was
Yeah.
different. But yeah, the first time I done it, she didn't really realise that I wasn't like 100%, and I'd had a nap, and then when I got up, like you makes you feel guilty for napping nowadays because they do so much, don't they? And then like
It's
you have a
true.
nap, and then you feel mad guilty for napping.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I knew about it afterwards. Though. I was up and down, get this, get that, get this, get that. So yeah, that's been my week, and obviously
Jesus.
we've got to get back to it now. Like,
Yes.
we had a bit of a mad one with like obviously checking in with you.
So yeah, I can't remember what day it was. What day was it? It was probably like
It was early in the week, wasn't it? It was like was it Tuesday? Because I was off from like I was off for a few days here.
you was off most of last week, weren't you?
Yeah, because yeah,
Yeah.
it was last week I was off, wasn't it?
Bruv, I don't know.
I'm losing track. Yeah, it was anyway. I was off for a few days, and
It's gone.
yeah,
Life was just gone quick, boy.
everything dad, so you'll realise.
Yeah. I can't remember what day it was, but I think it was Friday.
Yeah.
Was it Friday?
Yes, it was
It
the
was
Friday.
Friday.
It
We
was
went to
Friday. Yes.
Yeah, so Friday so Thursday, Mabel had some yogurt or whatever,
Yeah.
and Nance noticed that she came out in a bit of a rash.
Okay.
First of all, it was only on her face,
Yeah.
so she thought it was just teething.
Okay.
Took her to the doctors. Doctors thought it was teething as well. I think this was the same day.
Yeah.
And then Friday, she gave her, I think it was like some porridge that may have had milk pardon me, may have had milk in it as well. And the next thing she knew, she broke out in a whole rash all over like say from her waist upwards.
Wow.
All over her torso.
You must have been terrified.
So Nancy sent me pictures in the daytime while I was at work and whatever. And then I've come back. I got home from work. I went to meet someone. Luckily, I only went to like down the road. So I went to meet someone, and then Nancy said to me, I'm going to take her to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. I'll sort out what you're doing and then meet me there. So I was like, all right, cool. So I run into Morrison's, got some nappies, jumped back on a bus and went back to the hospital, met her there, went in to see a doctor and that. Obviously waited in Queens and all that sort of jazz. Went in to see a doctor. The doctors then said that she thinks it's a milk or dairy allergy, which is... There's another thing for it. What it is, it's I think it was that was it. It's called CMPA, which is cow's milk protein allergy.
Oh wow!
Which is what it could be, because it doesn't seem like it's just dairy sort of thing.
Which would then prove to the point as she couldn't keep the milk down, and you had to go on to the goat milk
from the original.
Yeah.
But the doctors in the hospital don't want to listen to this sort of stuff. When if they would have listened to begin with, we wouldn't have been in this predicament. They would have just given her the special milk that she's supposed to have for it and whatever, and everything may have been a bit different.
Yeah.
But hey ho, it happens, and it is one of them things.
It's just another thing to look out for, though, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, people just make sure you keep your eyes peeled for this sort of stuff, because yeah, man, it can be.
Because rashes are scary, aren't they? So
rashes.
I can imagine that
rashes are scary, because you get what I'm saying. Because when it's stuff like meningitis and that. From what I know, from what Nance has told me, the rash is the last thing that comes.
Okay, yeah.
So if the rash comes, it's too like you've caught it too late, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
You've got to check that with a glass, and if it disappears, and all
that's
that
what I'm
stuff,
saying. So obviously, Nance checked all of that sort of stuff. Checked that it was going. So it wasn't. We knew it weren't meningitis or whatever. You know what I mean? So we knew that it was to do with it was a milk allergy. So she had an appointment today. They said they didn't want to do no bloods or anything like that. And what else was it they said? Yeah, they said they didn't want to do no blood test on it because they think it's just a regular like milk allergy or whatever.
Are they going to give her an intolerance test?
No. Because they know what it is.
Wow.
Which is stupid. And because they don't want to draw blood from the baby or whatever.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Right. But,
they referred her to a dietitian.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what they say. They do something where they have to introduce milk to them at some point. And kind of like
to see if they can get them past the allergy.
See if they can get them used to it, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Which I never knew they did until Nance told me, because she spoke to someone else who had a similar thing with her grandson.
So they try and build up the tolerance again.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Which I never knew, which is a bit crazy as well.
Which I suppose leads back to what you were saying with if they would have tried the different milk prior, it might have changed things now.
That's it. Yeah. So then, obviously, I've got my train of thought for a second. Yeah, so what they do is they'll give him a malt biscuit or whatever, and they go off of a chart and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, she's got to go to a dietitian, and we've got to keep a food diary of what she eats and if she reacts to it and what the reaction was.
Okay. As
well. So
has she had any things with any other things, or just it's just the dairy?
It's just the dairy at the moment. So for now, it's just going to be a hit and miss and throw a dart and whatever it is, write it down and what the reaction is and all that sort of stuff. So
hopefully, touch wood.
Hopefully,
it is just the milk.
That's it, or just the
and then it builds it back up. Yeah.
So hopefully they can reintroduce it and she won't have the allergy for the rest of her life, sort of thing. So yeah, it's a tough one, but yeah, you just have to see what happens, isn't it, and go.
Of course,
just roll with it.
But she all right in herself though.
She's just Mabel, isn't she? She's crazy. I'm starting to realise that this child might be crazy. I swear to God, man. The personality, she just seems like she's very mischievous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bruv.
Does she still like chilling out though indoors?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, she's a chilled baby.
Yeah.
But she makes up a lot of noise.
We heard.
As you heard before. Like, that's her every day. Like, I'll phone Nance when I'm at work. And I can hear her in the background. talking to herself, making up noise. I'm
Bless
like,
her.
"Fuck, this kid don't stop, boy. She is all systems go all of the time." Like, but yeah, I'm starting to realise that she seems like she's a bit mischievous from what we can work out from the personality. And it's like every day the personality comes out in them a bit more.
Yeah,
So
it's true. It
it's
does.
a great thing to see as well.
That is the best thing, the personality. And
Yeah, you can see it building. Like
Yeah,
you
of
can
course.
see what they're going to be like.
yeah,
It's wicked.
yeah,
Absolutely
like,
wicked.
Brandon's very, very chilled, but then he knows what he wants when he wants it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how that is Mabel as well, man. She knows what she wants.
So what else has been going on for you this week, though, Jay?
Other than that, so Mabel's still teething. That's becoming a
Yeah,
hit. That's becoming a if you say it, it's not gonna happen sort of situation.
I'm just not coming through.
No, it's just like it don't want to come.
Mad.
But I think at some point it's gonna be one of them things
Where they're just gonna order
it's gonna be about 4 at once.
like
Marley,
buses.
you know what? Yeah. Marley said. I think it was Marley that said it the other day. Yeah, she was like, Marley or Nance said it. They was like, just imagine, she teethes and she comes through with a whole set of teeth.
Mad.
I was like, listen, I'm not gonna lie, that would confuse the life out of me, boy. It would be mad. Just wake up one day and she's got a whole full set of gnashers, like ready to chew stuff. Could you imagine? That would be crazy.
Straight onto the big food.
Sleep, wake up, whole teeth. Like, what the hell happened? Like, this is nuts.
Bless her. Bless her. Well, I've been DIY dad today.
Oh, what you been doing
Kerry
today,
had me
bruv?
on the DIY flex, putting up pictures and all that sort of stuff. So we've been sorting the house.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously Brandon's got his bit.
Of course.
Doing that, doing all the downstairs pictures, and then obviously we're gonna go upstairs and sort like a little office space because Kerry's got to start going back to work soon as well.
Yeah.
So redo the office space because the original office is now Brandon's nursery. You know, like so I've been on
took over.
Yeah, I've been on DIY dad today. So, but the house, what we realised is it's literally taken over by Brandon.
Bruv,
Their stuff is everywhere.
did you not realise this when he was born?
Oh yeah, we knew this, but you know, like both me and Kerry are like you and Nancy, we're very house proud.
Yeah.
So you tidy things and all that, but it's like no matter how much you do, there's always stuff everywhere.
Everywhere. It's mad because in Heights, where it's so small, there's stuff all over the gaff. Like we're storing stuff in places that ain't even supposed to be stored there. Like what the hell?
And it
just come and took over.
Mad, literally everything everywhere.
It's
it is
nuts.
mad. Dad's whatever space you got, appreciate it. I'm
Ain't
telling
it?
you, because it gets taken up fast.
Once this baby's born, your space is gone.
Yes,
It's
it
no
really
longer
does.
your space. It's
It really
the baby
does.
space.
But you know what? When we're talking about space and all that, snuck a picture up earlier. Me and Brandon was chilling on the sofa. Like he had his nap, and then he woke up and he was we was having a good old little bit of chill time and that. And I put on one of his programs, and me and Kerry was talking, and we was like with the TV time, he has half hour in the morning and then half hour at night.
Yeah.
But you sit there and you think to yourself, like, how much is too much? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Do you know what? I thought that myself. I thought that myself a couple of times.
because we don't want him to get like. Obviously, we read, we play with him, we do
of
all
course.
our other stuff.
But
But
see,
is an hour, is like half hour in the morning and half hour at night too much? Because you don't want them to get like too obsessed with something. Do you know what I mean?
I think if you're playing with them and interacting with them anyway, that's really not going to make a I don't think the TV's going to make that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got it on all the time, just in the background.
Yeah.
And you're still playing with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know what's healthy and what's the right amount and what's the wrong amount.
It does make you think.
It makes
doesn't
you
it?
think about it though.
And it makes you think about yourself. Like, like we've said before, you're
I
on your
watch
phone. You don't
way
want to be
too-
on you don't want to be on the screen too much.
Yeah.
You don't want to be involved, like, because you want to be in.
That's
in
why
the
I turn
moment.
the notifications off on my blower.
Yeah. See, I'm definitely like, obviously we always check our emails and we're doing work.
Yeah, of course,
And we have like random ideas. So you're on the phone and you're talking about things. And all that sort of stuff. But you do try and be like, right, I don't want them to see you on the screen. And then I'm like, if I'm doing that, I can't put them in front of a screen too much.
It's true.
You know? So we had them conversations and we were talking about that. And so that was our little like thought today. Like,
I noticed that the other day myself because Nance sent me a picture and I think I was replying to something.
Yeah.
And I was in the front room and Mabel was in front of me, but I was on my phone and she sent me a picture and I looked at the picture and I was like, oh man, that can't happen.
Yeah, and you see them reaching for your phone, innit?
I've got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm consciously trying to do that more myself as well.
It makes you realise how much like screens are involved in your day, innit?
It's crazy how much.
And obviously, when they get older, they're gonna have that in their life.
Of course.
But from a young age, they need to. I want them to know books. I want them to know whatever. You know what I mean? And
that's it.
Talking of books, I've ordered. I ordered Mabel and Brandon.
One of them
books. The series is.
Big up that author because she followed us today as well.
Yeah. Maria Isabella Sanchez Vergara.
Yeah, she
started following us today, so big her up.
Big her up, man.
Fantastic series of books you got there.
Definitely.
Bruv, they're great. Like I ordered the Queen Elizabeth one, so you're just going to be the story of Queen Elizabeth. There's loads of them.
There's so many. She's got
Martin
like
Luther
Marcus
King,
Rashford.
Yeah, Martin Luther King.
What was that
bro?
rotted?
Every single person key in history is in them books, and they are great.
Sick, man.
Great. You learn yourself. Like I said, you learn yourself. So, but yeah, I ordered Mabel and Brandon a Queen Elizabeth II one.
Thank you, my friend.
They should be.
Thank you for
They should be there this evening. I think they were supposed to come today.
Mad.
So
Look at that. That's mad. That is. Damn.
Talking about things that are coming and close.
Oh, what?
Walked into the office.
You and these links, bro. I don't know what's going on, but Jesus Christ.
Years in the media.
You're ready for it. Let's go on, bro. Go.
So, yeah, we walked into the room the weekend.
Yeah.
Kerry's got a couple of like Halloween outfits all sorted already. I'm like, it's Halloween already. Like,
bro, it's not far away, you know.
It's mad. Like, she got a little pumpkin outfit because she said there's a family photo of her that kind of done the rounds in her family. It's quite a famous photo in the family
of her as a pumpkin.
So she wants to reenact that with Brandon. Then she got another one because
but is she gonna dress as a pumpkin as well?
I don't know.
She needs to.
Yeah, it's mad because I'm not really big on Halloween.
Neither am I.
But I think it's going to become a thing because now it's going to be like we're going pumpkin picking.
Yeah.
So she's organised all of that.
It's mad.
And bruv, Kerry already is wild on Christmas, right?
Oh,
if you see you've seen the Christmas tree, innit? What she does with the Christmas tree.
Christ.
So, like, it is like Candyland Christmas, massive tree, takes over the whole front room. Kerry loves Christmas. So this year, she's already, like gearing up.
Yeah, nuts.
But you can't have the real tree. So now we've got, like, she's been on the hunt for the
fake one.
The impeccable fake one. But when I tell you, I've got to go work for a few days for this tree.
What?
Bruv, some of the trees they're so expensive. Why are they so expensive?
What? Your face? Your face. Oh my gosh! I don't know, bruv.
But yeah,
don't know.
Christmas is coming, and then she's got like this is what.
Has she told you what colours she wants and all that sort of jazz?
Oh, bruv, she's got like Candyland theme, so the theme will continue over to. She only done that last year, the year before, so she's got a few more years in it. She's been building it up. You know what I mean? So Brandon's gonna know Christmas.
Yeah,
you know?
Listen, there's the same in our house. Nat said to me the other day, right, I'm changing the colour of the Christmas tree. All I said was, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
I said, you know what? I don't even care.
Yeah.
She was like, what do you mean you don't care?
It's Mabel's first Christmas.
I was like, no. Let's back up the car. Yeah, back the car up and let's get this straight. It's not that I don't care about Christmas because I do. I didn't before. I do now. I've got into Christmas because of Nance. I don't care about the Christmas tree. Yeah, that's your department. I'm not allowed to touch it. I don't care.
Bro, I can't even help with the decorate. Like, there's a box.
Same.
Each one has its own box.
Bro. Listen, I've got in our house. Yeah, you know, like them crates what you get.
Yeah.
When you're moving yard, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
We got one of them.
Bruv, we got all of that.
Everything in
Trust
it.
me. Wrapped in tissue, each one. Certain boxes for the long ones, the big candy canes and the big... Bro.
Oh, my gosh.
And she's already told me, get your boots and the fake snow ready, because every year, although Brandon won't know this year, it starts from this year. I've got to do the whole, like, you know, boots of...
Oh, my gosh.
Not me, Santa Claus. Sorry, kids, when you hear this. I've got the... Santa, yeah. I've got to get all the spray ready for Santa Claus when he comes through the window.
Jesus.
That the boot marks will be there, and then I've been told already. I've got to get certain vegetables and a mince pie ready for Father Christmas and
Carrots.
for the reindeers.
Mince pies.
I'm
not gonna lie.
I've been told.
I'm quite impartial to a mince pie.
Oh yeah, I like a mince pie.
Yeah,
I do as well.
Yeah,
I like raw carrot as well. So
do you know what else is gonna come? Don't you? You know what else comes after that?
Go on.
Elf on a Shelf.
Oh yes, that's gonna be a thing. That's not
when
really quite yet.
Just when I thought that little bleeder had gone. Just when I thought
we're going to be
rid of
texting
him.
each other with ideas for Elf on. You know what? This
mate.
obviously not now because we're not ready for this. But closer to
Jeepers
Christmas, you lot, I want you to send us in Elf on a Shelf tips.
No, and I want to see pictures.
And I want pictures.
Yeah, we want pictures
A couple
too.
of Dad's Army Elf on a Shelf
Definitely.
challenge. The most
elaborate ones. That's gonna be something. Because I know by then, we're gonna have a sponsor, so we'll be able to give you a decent price.
Exactly. We'll be
There's gonna be some extravagant ones, I can tell. But just when I thought I got rid of that little bleeder from my ass, he's gonna be coming back again. God damn it! Oh mate.
Oh, mate.
I thought I got rid of him, man.
Crazy. But you know what I will say, on a more serious one this week, you know, like with work and stuff like that. So, like I said, I've been tired this week.
Yeah.
I ain't really felt myself and all that. And I've been obviously spending a lot, I've been working hard. Working hard. And then coming home and then you spend all your time with a baby and Kerry.
Yeah.
My other stuff, like my creative stuff,
taking a back
burner.
seat.
And I felt guilty for that. Because it's like, that's important to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I need to make my money.
Of course.
I need but I need the money like now, because my other job's more.
Of course.
You know what I mean? The other one is money, but takes a while because you got to pitch, you got to da.
Of course.
And there's things I need to do, but I haven't been in the right mindset to do them this week, and I felt proper guilty for it. And like, I suppose that's the work juggle and all of that.
That's the juggle of it, isn't it? It is. But you shouldn't be guilty of that. Sometimes you got to think to yourself. Sometimes it's good to have that little breather.
Yeah, and I suppose the fact that I care means that it means a lot to me.
Exactly, bruv. Exactly that. And then you come back with a fresh head to it as well.
Yeah.
And then you're like, right, I'm ready. Let's go again.
Yeah,
I've got some ideas.
That's true.
Wow, let's get
but you know,
it,
like
you know what I mean?
this is like that platform where, you know, we talk and we say our worries and all
exactly.
that. Talking of work.
Yeah.
I think it's about time we do our qualification dad.
Hey, the first one.
Yeah, we've been talking about work and paternity and little bits and bobs, and you know, as we said last week, our mate JJ.
Yeah,
he's got some crazy hours.
Shifts.
Yeah, he's got some crazy hours. So, do you want to dial him in?
All right, let me get him in.
Let's see if this. Let's test this gear out.
I know, innit? New gadgets, man. I'm like a kid in a sweet shop, boy.
You can hear the tick 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 tick.
I know, man. Let me turn my things off. I forgot it was on. Right, let's see what happens. Mobile phone.
This is where Jay lets us ring out.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
You know when he just airs us?
Innit?
If he does, I'm going to feel like a right douchebag.
It's like phone a friend.
Yo.
Hey.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
What's happening?
How you doing? You alright?
Yeah.
Well,
so Jay, introduce yourself. You're part of the Dad's Army now, officially.
You know what I mean? Tell the listeners who you are and what you do, my friend.
Right. I am JJ. I have recently become a dad. I think I'm literally, a month and a half ahead of Jay, which puts me, I think, 2 months and a bit ahead.
Yeah.
2 months and a bit
That's
ahead
crazy.
of you, Roony.
Yeah.
Literally. Best thing that's ever happened to me, just to put it frankly, if I'm going to say what I need to say correctly. Currently 32 years of age, so I don't know, I've kind of hit it late, I would say, in a weird respect, but I do believe I only got blessed with this when I was meant to get it.
Bruv, not later than us. I'm like
Innit,
37,
bruv? I'm 40 now, bruv, you know what I mean?
You're the spring chicken on this call.
What's the old thing? Good things come with time and all that.
Yeah, that's it.
Good things come to those who wait as well, they say.
That's it.
Oh, me, I've been patient, trust me. I ain't for the lack of trying, I'll tell you that much.
I've said this myself.
So, Jay, before we get into the whole work stuff and all that, like, what was, like, we've all done our little bits and pieces and that. What was your birth story like?
So, it was kind of how can I put it in a weird respect? It was a journey and a half, to say the least. But it was ups and downs. We had a couple of hospital visits that we didn't plan for, and that was due to measurements coming up a little smaller. So midwife and doctors having concerns involving baby size. because
so
you know they,
We both
you
had
go
So,
and you get
yeah.
the bump.
So that's
The
quite
bump
similar
measurement.
to what both of us had then, because they told
Yeah.
Roon that he was small. That
Brandon was a bit small.
Brandon was a bit small, and they told me that Mabel was a bit big. So what did they say to you?
So originally, I think we was up to about 5.5, 6 months.
Yeah.
And we've had an appointment then, and it was like like a shock moment from the doctor, and we both, like me and Mrs. looked at each other puzzled, and it was like yeah, would you mind going down to the hospital and going for a scan? And we was like instantly, you know, like your shoulders go up towards your ears and it's all okay, what's the problem?
Yeah,
and then it's the bump kind of isn't measuring up right. It's not growing at the rate that we thought it'd be at right now, because you know they go off the growth graphs
Yeah.
of what they should have and that. And literally, so we shot to the hospital and it's been like a scan. And it's like, I don't know, like, yeah, baby's alright, but because of that, we ended up with I think 2 or 3 extra scans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
So that was like those.
when we had the scan, they was like, oh, he matches up all right. It must have been an anomaly with the tape measure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
That's
had
what
similar,
that was
didn't you,
similar
Jay?
thing. But they were saying Mabel was too big, but I don't know.
Mate, I'll tell
just-
you what, the one thing I learned over the course of this journey with the midwives, because problem was as well, this is one thing I would say for new fathers, if you've got a missus that's very much like she'd be, I suppose it's kind of normal, they want to build a better relationship with the midwife team as the journey progresses, just for a comfort thing. And I suppose it's the same as anyone. If you get to know someone and you see someone a bit more frequently, naturally you're going to get more comfortable, aren't you?
Yeah,
true.
of course.
But in the process of it, we ended up seeing about 4 different ones, 5 different ones. And I remember, I think it was our 3rd appointment with a different one or something like that. The 3rd time we saw someone different. And literally my missus has walked in the room, sat down. The lady's gone to introduce herself, bless her, and my missus has burst into tears and left the room. And bearing in mind, this is not my missus' first child. And this is something she went through with her first.
Yeah.
So it was like, you don't get that chance to build that rapport and get that comfortability, and you get yourself settled in that space where it's like, got to know you, know your name, we've had a bit of banter, you know my exact birthing plan, you know what my wants and needs are, you know what my do's and don'ts are, sort of thing. And every single time we went in, it's like you're having to relay the same information.
Yes,
so there was that as well.
Yeah,
to kind of bear in mind.
that don't help the situation at all, does
That's
it?
where we was quite lucky, because our
Yeah,
teams,
yeah.
they all kind of spoke, and they was kind of like, they was mates amongst themselves, wasn't
Yeah.
they? So it kind of, all the information got passed on. So I can imagine that must have been pretty nuts.
It's stressful in itself,
Yeah.
because you're every time you go in there, there's
A new story, like you
it's
got
a
to
new
explain
person.
yourself
You
again.
got to tell them everything you've told the person before, over and over again.
It was like, you know, it made me feel like reapplying for the same job. Like when you've had the interview and you've passed it 7 times, it's like, okay, right, you've got the resume. Why am I going through this again? And it was a consistent thing. It was just like,
That's
yeah,
a mad way to put it, you know.
So how long have you been a stepdad as well? Because Jay also is a stepdad, but like how long have you?
When I met my missus, I think we was, you know what, my situation happened really quick, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But it was, I'll go back, I'll say it again, I said it earlier, like, I think you only get blessed with these things when you're meant to.
100%.
Oh, definitely, man.
Yeah, they know who they want to come to, and when it happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, literally, no word of a lie. I think I had 6 months getting to know my stepson before literally we found out that, yeah, he's going to be an older brother.
Oh, wow.
And it was it was one of them you kind of had to adapt to it really quick, get your head around it and get on with it. But I think
that must have made you
that
must have bonded you a bit closer as well. Because how old is your stepson, Jay?
he is 6 turning 7. So he's at an age where he gets it to an extent. He sort of understands, like, okay, because he's got like cousins and he's had like aunties that have been pregnant. So he gets like, okay, like, yeah, the women carry the children and da. So he understands that part. And it was like, yeah, like throughout the journey, like moments where he's like there and he's like cuddling the bump and kissing it and asking his mum questions like, oh, like what do they know? How big are they? And I think same as you guys, I think you might have mentioned it, the app where it's like, oh yeah, they're a watermelon and that's huge. A strawberry, a raspberry, all that stuff. Yeah,
watermelon's like last knockings, isn't it?
That's massive, bro.
I'd be a bit worried if they're that big. But I think it's weird because I kind of got such a great sense of security from witnessing their relationship before we had baby Drew, because it was like I've already seen firsthand what you have gone through in a weird respect with the upbringing of your child and what he's like. So that children are a product of their parents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
believe, and what they've gone through and how they've been raised. And I'm talking little things where we're sitting in a room, he might be sitting in the bedroom or something, and like, I've never seen this before in my life. And at the time he was 5, and he would like literally out of nowhere just walk into the room, say, "Mummy," she'd say, "Yeah," and he'd say, "You okay?" She'd say, "Yeah, baby, I'm okay. You okay?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, okay, love you." Comes, gives her a kiss, and goes about his business. And it was like, I weren't doing that at 5.
yeah,
Like, he's protective and he knows, like, and all of it. And to see that firsthand, like, coming into their lives,
bless him.
That's
it was
proper.
like, you must have,
Yeah.
the job you're doing, it must be 10/10, because I don't see that from other kids that are 5.
Yeah, bless
That's
him.
true.
Bless him.
So I kind of got that first-hand thing of, do you know what, as a mum, you definitely are going to be able to raise children correctly in the right way. So I got that reassurance from early
Yeah.
doors with her.
Yeah, of course.
And
That's a
you
good
had a
thing.
little girl as well, didn't you, Jay?
I had a little girl, so yeah, obviously, she's girl dad.
You
You
know
know what I
what I
mean?
mean?
I'm rocking for the boys in a bit.
Even that, it was like, between what you get, I remember when we had that awkward conversation, it was kind of like, me personally, I would be petrified to raise a little boy this day and age, just because of the areas in which I've grown up and what I've seen growing up and all this. And it's kind of like, they get drawn out into everything, and it can be the most innocent little precious kid in the world, and you know what I mean, things happen. But it's one of them things where I feel like having a girl has matured me a lot. I think being a dad anyway is going to mature you in every way.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, it completely changes your whole outlook to everything. Like you just said as well. Like, even me, like little boy, like you start thinking about the future. I'm thinking about schools and where I want to set. Like, me and Mrs. have already been talking about all of that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because you got to think like that now.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
true.
a whole different thing, isn't it? You can't just like, oh, we live in this area, happy times, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you have to think about everything.
You got to be
don't you?
meticulous with where you're going to send your child, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It turns into, you hear that story about 5-year plan, but
Yeah.
it actually turns into a
It turns
real
into
thing
it,
when
yeah,
you
man.
become a dad. Yeah.
Definitely.
It's true.
Definitely. And you were saying already, Jay, about working. Like, we know, me and Jay know already, you work crazy shifts and you had to adapt your whole dad life around work and stuff as
Mate.
well. Like, so tell the people, like, what is it you do and like, how's that
So
affected you?
I'm a supervisor for TFL. I work at stations, basically the biggest underground station in Europe, as everything's finished up work-wise and all that now. So work-wise, it can be intense and it can be a lot going on and stuff. And shift-wise, it is all over the place. When I'm talking, I'll have weeks of my roster, what a shift, spare cover. I get spare cover shifts. So we get 7 days notice on them shifts. So I could be doing 2 earlies in a week followed by 2 lates. Then as long as you don't break a 12-hour rest rule, I go on to 2 other shifts, and it's like you are all over the place. So planning weeks and your life around everything, especially now that my little girl's here, like now that Jazz is here, it can be really, really tedious. But going into it kind of with the whole pregnancy and moving through the shifts, it was like I'm having to move things around to make sure I'm at every scan. And then if anything happens, I need to make sure that I can get to wherever my missus needs to get to in order to do things. Like even times we got a phone call randomly, and it was from little man's school, and it was like, oh, he's hit his head in the playground, and it's like having to leave work in the drop of a hat and having to explain to managers and all that while I'm disappearing and whatnot. Like, it can get really, really out of hand. And on top of that, it's the unsociable hours and stuff, and it's like you're worried about little things like when you want to creep back in the house when you come back on a late and it's like 2:00 in the morning, and you don't want to disturb your 7-8 month pregnant girlfriend who's grouchy at that point because she's had enough and she's like can't touch her toes and all the rest of it. And it's you go through them kind of things, and it's like you find that they'll be up at certain parts of the night because baby might kick at certain times, and they might get into a little routine in the tummy, which is kind of normal at a certain point, and things like that. But it's the work thing was crazy start to finish, and it's like
How much paternity did you get, Jay?
I was literally about to touch on that. I was very, very, very lucky. The only thing with TFL that's a bit mad is my holidays rostered in on my line for the whole year. So I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing for the whole year, but I also know that my annual leave is allocated already. So I can't just be like, I'm having May 7th to May whatever off. I can't just do that. I'd need to find someone with that holiday block and do a swap if they're willing and able to do the swap sort of thing. So with us, it was, I had 2 weeks that fell
Yeah.
literally when my daughter was due. So that worked out perfectly. And then we get 3 weeks. So on top of that, I also swapped a week with a colleague of mine. So I ended up with 6 weeks.
Okay.
Problem with that, same as Jay,
Mm.
little madam decided she was comfortable up there, didn't want to come out on time.
Yeah, bro. Both of us ended up.
That might be-
We both ended
All
up
three
with
of
like
us.
10,
Yeah.
like 10 days over. Like Brandon
Kids,
and Mabel was
They
both 10
didn't want
days
to.
over.
They didn't want to come out of there. They was happy where they was.
Literally, it's like they knew what it was coming out to you. Like, nah, it's cold out there. I'm staying up there. It's comfortable. It's comfortable. I get fed. I ain't got to move. I've got to swim in all the time. Like, comfortable as
Oh,
anything.
mate.
So I was blessed enough to get that kind of time off, and then moving throughout that, the whole process, the pregnancy and the whole birth.
Yeah.
We went through something called meconium, which is when the baby has a poo inside.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's mad because you get told all of the little risks and all the rest of it. And long story short, with the meconium thing, it can affect their breathing and their
their
respiratory.
lungs,
in that
yeah,
respect. 'Cause if they breathe that in, that can obviously clog up airways, stop their lungs from developing, all the rest
Yeah.
of it, and they could end up with issues later on and whatnot.
It's only
And
at a
imagine-
certain stage though, and it's like when there's a part of it when it's not dangerous, isn't it? There's a part when it is dangerous and a part when it's not dangerous or something. I remember them saying.
We went through it and we'd like been aware because I think you lot touched on this. I think it might have been episode 2 or maybe
Yeah.
episode 3 involving mucus plugs and all the rest of it, and then water's breaking. I will never forget this night as long as I live. So she's having one of her can't sleep moments, and it's her back's killing her. She's tired, and I've got one of the misses. She's literally a mermaid. She would live in the bath if she could.
Yeah.
And it's literally got to like silly o'clock at night. It might have been like 2:30 or something like that. Babe, can you run me a bath? I can't relax. So I ran her a bath, and I'm said to her, like, call me if you need me, whatever. She's in the bath. Next thing I know, she calls me, screaming. I've run in the thing. She said, my waters are broken, they're green. So that's a sign to say that,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
the
Christ.
baby's had a poo in there.
Yeah.
Bit of an issue. So we've obviously grabbed the bags, done all of that, and at that point it was like literally everything was packed by the door, so you are good to go whenever you need to go. And like Jay, I didn't have to run around and panic like that, and I didn't forget no bags. I don't think I forgot anything. But if my missus does listen to this, I'm sure she'll correct me. Got everything we need to get, and we got out the door, got straight to the hospital, and that's when the nerves and all the stuff where you do have to turn into He-Man kicked in because you
Yeah,
can't
of
show
course.
that you're nervous or weak or any of the rest of it, and it's
Your
they've put
feelings
the-
get put in the back, don't they?
Yeah, it's true. You gotta put that that poker face on.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, it's like no emotion, no nothing. It's just poker face and get on with it kind of thing. And it's we got into the early pregnancy unit, and they've started monitoring the baby in the stomach and the gut wrenching part when I've seen my baby's heart rate dip, and I saw it dip 3 times, and at that point it was like, nah, you don't need to sort this thing out now.
Wow, that must have been terrifying.
Jesus.
And it's like we was aware about what had happened and risks, and it was like the more you're getting like little things from different midwives and doctors and all the rest of it, and you're like, you've already explained that there could be some sort of risks. We're already late. Why are we even having a discussion about let's try and get on with natural birth? Can we just agree to the C-section and get on with it now? Because both of us had kind of said like, yeah, I will never forget this time. We've gone into a private room at this point, and I had about 6 or 7 doctors in there. I had one of them being useless on a computer. I don't know what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
I had another one that was
I had that.
I thought, are they generic?
Yeah,
I
there's got to
think
be
so.
one. I think
I
there's
think
one
so,
in a
bruv.
team in all of them, I think.
Because it's like they teach them to use the computer.
Yeah, and
but
then
then
they're
it's
just
just
there.
like they just stand there and don't know what they're doing.
And you know what,
I've
Jay?
got
You
a
just
theory.
reminded me as well, because, you know, like in my birth story, me and Kerry had loads of different things that happened. And I remember one of the last things that they'd said was because Brandon was like, started to get stressed because obviously Kerry wasn't dilating, just before the C-section, I remember they said then that they thought that he might have had a poo as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like it's mad. Like even like when we say that these things are like
Yeah.
therapy, because you said about the meconium thing, I was like, oh yeah, because that. But because he was like later and they knew that they was giving like the C-section, they wasn't as worried about it as obviously like it was in your missus's waters. So it's about for a while, isn't it?
It's that, they're swimming around in poo. And the thing is as well, you know if your baby's had meconium, because bless my daughter, man, she come out with bits of crap on her, bless her, and the cleaning up process was a bit messy. And it's a bit awkward because it's like, your child comes out, the first thing you want to do is kiss him and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you got a bit of crap on your head, babe.
Oh, bless her. So you weren't that bad, Brandon. So he was still, but yeah.
Oh my god.
So did your missus end up having the C-section in the end?
Yeah, and that process, because due to things that she went through with her first child, with my stepson Romeo, it literally was a thing where I think she got what are they called when they get induced. She didn't want to get induced because she said the contractions and all that stuff and the pain was through the roof.
Oh, so it
wow.
intensifies
So she wanted
them.
to try it.
Wow.
Yeah, she it wasn't even an epidural. I didn't even know there was another thing of this, but she had like a back drip or something else. It was a different thing. It wasn't an epidural.
The oxytocin, the
spinal
synthetic,
drip or something like
yeah,
that.
the synthetic hormone to bring on it brings everything on quicker.
Yeah, because there's another thing they use,
like
a little match as well, isn't there?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was like even that process. So imagine we've got into the room and the what are they called, anesthesiologists.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was going to struggle to get that word out then.
Don't worry there.
Imagine she's done the injection, but my missus is saying I can only feel it in one leg.
Oh wow!
What the hell?
So imagine this shit. This to me it was the weirdest thing ever because I just thought to myself, she's not a pinball game. They've put her, the beds. They can rotate and move the beds.
Yeah.
They've tilted it to one side. Like, yeah, it's all right. It will flow to the other side. I'm thinking, are they being serious? This can't be real.
They tilted the bed.
Yeah, you must have been.
You know what that's like?
Your mind right now.
That's like them old school games you get with the
with
the ball bearing in it, and you're trying to get it through the team.
Get it through the holes.
Yeah, that's what it's like, bruv. Really?
Wow,
that's nuts.
Yeah, you must have been like, what is going on here?
In it.
So that happened, and it's a bit like, okay, this is I didn't read nothing that involved the bed doing all that. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, this is definitely getting weird. So the anesthesiologist has called in the head of her, whoever the head anesthesiologist woman is, she's coming now. So at this point, it's already more daunting because I think you guys touched on this. There's already about 7 of them in the room.
Yeah.
So now you're adding more. And like she said to her, like, it's not really kicking in, whatever. Can I give her another dose? And they've agreed to give another dose. And they've kind of said to her, like, it can be a bit dangerous because that basically with the amount they give them, it numbs them up to a certain point. But if you take too much, it can numb you further to the point where.
So this is the epidural now, yeah.
Jesus.
Nah, it's the same thing. It's not the epidural.
Okay,
it's something else. So you've got to that point, and eventually it's all started working. So obviously we're all in there. You're geared up in the gown, all of that, and I'm at the top of the bed with her, holding her hand, talking to her, trying to keep her as calm as possible. And inside, I've already done 10 nervous poos. Like, so you're going through the motions and all the rest of it. And no word of a lie, it's like they talk to you while they're getting on with things and they explain little bits and bobs, but no word of a lie, within that 4 or 5 minutes, literally the woman's looked up at me. She said, "Dad, you got your phone?" And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
No one's ringing me. What do you mean you got your
feeling,
phone?
isn't it? Dad, you got your phone. That's what the
doing,
anesthesiologist says. Yeah. She said that to us.
Like, what have you hit me up on Insta or something? What do you mean if I got my phone?
And then you look up, the baby's there, isn't it, Jay? It's crazy.
Literally. And then they're holding my daughter in the air, and then you hear, and the most crowning moment is when you hear that first, wah!
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, mad. Yeah.
And
wow.
all
Did you do
fears,
they're gone there, innit? That's it, they're gone. As soon as that's it, fears
like,
are done.
she's fine, I can hear her,
Yeah.
she's moving, like, thank God. And at that point, you kind of, your shoulders detach from your ears, they go back to a normal posture, and you kind of...
it's true.
Life's good again, isn't it? Oh, it's mad.
But then you get into the next phase of worry after that, though, which is when they put the baby down and they do the once over.
Yeah. Is everything all right?
I think I did everything in my power to not cry up throughout literally 99% of the pregnancy. I think I might have had 1 or 2 little moments that were a bit thing, but they were like literally my missus went away like halfway through the pregnancy, and like I found myself staring at the cot that I'd got by that point and feeling all emotional. But moving on from that, literally the point where they put baby down, and I'll never forget it, she's there and that they've patted her down, they've checked her for certain things, and then you get that thing with them blunt, stupid scissors that they shouldn't have. That I'm pretty sure they stole from a primary school.
Everyone says about them scissors.
Them scissors are the worst.
There's got to be a reason why. There has to be, surely. Cause
I'm going to be honest. I don't think there is.
Yeah.
They're just blunt for the sake of being blunt. Like, what are you supposed to cut with them?
Can I bring my own? I'll sterilise them. Can I bring my own? They're pointless.
JJ turned up with garden shears.
Come in there with a flipping meat cleaver, bruv.
Jay, did you do NCT
mate.
as well? Or did you?
Do you know what? No, we didn't, because she'd had a child already and she'd done a few little bits and bobs beforehand, so we avoided all that. I think I was in one of them positions where, like I said, I think had I had something like this to listen to, going through them things, I would have been in a lot better stead to do certain things, because it is one of them situations where you do learn on the job and you do pick up everything and you read as much as you can and you become a sponge and that. You know, when it gets to the point you're going to appointments and you're kind of like, the midwife's explaining something and you finish their sentences because you've read all the same stuff they're about to tell you and all that, and it's like, so and you get asked like, so how many children do you have? I'm like, no, this is my first. And they look at you like, huh? How'd that work?
See, I was lucky like that because Kerry done most of my reading and she relayed the info and I'd stored what I needed to store.
See it there?
And then because my missus is like mad organised and meticulous.
I was alright. I had a missus that already went through it once already, so I just followed her, boy.
Yeah, crazy.
I think it was crazy to think like, well, obviously a little less time than you guys, but I think when it comes down to the educational thing and that, I didn't even go to college. Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't one of them kids that I couldn't go to college, but it was like one of them ones where...
But you know what though, Jay? See the NCT thing? Like for me, it was like, you make friends for life in it. Like, and you know, like you're going through things at the exact same time. So kind of like this podcast. But then you've got someone there who's... like a teacher who's kind of showing you basics or things to look out for, like how many people's going to be in a room if you have to have a cesarean and all that kind of stuff, you know. And that's what it prepared me for. And also like these powers who you can all message in at the same time, be like, oh, what's going on? Like I'm lucky enough, like as well, Jay and yourself ain't too far off, but you know, like within them lot as well, you got like weeks apart, and it's like, yo, like as everyone doing, and you got like all this little camaraderie, you know.
You store things from everyone. Yeah,
definitely.
You take on everything.
And they got like a little tip that comes from that dad, and then you pass it on to Jay. Jay pass it to me. I'll give it to you, Jay. You know what I mean? And it's like boom, 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 boom. And then, like that's the great thing about it. And this is where this is even more so, you know?
That's it. We're just trying to give these
people
telling
you, it's the things where, you know, like going through it from not being in like an educational background, because I do feel you feel like you're back in class with certain things, like the way you try and absorb the knowledge and the way you're reading the books and taking things in and Googling the hell out of life and all the rest of it.
Nothing prepares you though, does it really, Jay? Nothing. Like it kind of gives you an idea, but it don't
matter how much you Google stuff.
As soon as they give you that baby, you're still like, here we go. We've got to learn. We've got to work this out.
It changes.
And then when that love hits as well, it's like, oh wow, here we go. And then you're trying to work. And
roller coaster.
It's crazy. Your ups and downs and that work. But was your missus the same as ours as well, Jay? When you went back to work, was she a little bit nervous? Because like you said, you was quite lucky that you got the 6 weeks off, and cesarean obviously you had 6 weeks, which was fortunate, you know.
But it was, I think me going back, it was sort of like that whole, I dreaded it a lot more than she did for, I think the obvious reasons that I know you guys have touched on, involving like things you're going to miss.
Yeah.
Because I had it in my head, like, I want to be there for as much as possible, be hands-on. Like, I weren't blessed to have a dad.
I was literally just going to ask you what was your relationship like with your own dad?
And the thing with that as well, I think the situation with my stepson is even more special to me for the pure fact I had a dead stepdad that I disliked highly, that literally didn't sit well with me for life and all the rest of it. And it's one of them things where I got literally a first-hand lesson in what not to do.
Yeah.
So it was like, I took all them things, and it's like, you might grow up in a situation where you might resent and be angry towards them things, but literally from the time I was blessed with my daughter, I only ever took the positives from them things, and any kind of bad energy that I harbored towards anything along them lines, it disintegrated into nothing.
Yeah.
And that for me was a beautiful feeling, because it's sort of like a weight lifted off my shoulders, because now I'm like, I actually got something positive from that, but I wasn't in a position to appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you get like we were saying, you get different tools from the parent who's there, you know.
It's
like
true.
You see your mum become mum and dad. Do you know what I mean?
You don't realize the things that you're taking on board until when you have to use them later on in life.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean,
it's true. And then it does change your whole position though, doesn't it, Jay? With like your relationship to your parents, to how you want to parent going forward.
Yeah, because you do take the good and the bad. You look back on things, you think, do you know what, my mum did that with me and it worked perfectly. And you do, it's a family thing, generational. You bring it forward and you will probably apply the same little methods with your kids. And if anything, it might be something that your kids will apply to their kids, and it will be something that will turn into that, that was grandma's trick, or that was, you know what I mean, that was granddad's trick or whatever. And it was like, you do pass it on. Like, I mean, thankfully for me, I weren't getting dummies that were covered in brandy, which I probably wouldn't have minded at certain points. But I think that's something that like the old school lot do. Like I put it, if I put a dummy in my daughter's mouth that was that brandy, I think my missus would have me hung to on a quarter.
Same.
Yeah, same.
I'd be dead before it even touched their lips.
But going back to work thing, I think the thing that made it more awkward was having to kind of make sure I was managing a relationship with Romeo and Jazz at the same time, because it's like, you've gone through 5-6 years of life, just you, mummy, getting on with it, and mummy's attention's not solely yours. And even when I come into the picture, it wasn't solely his. So it was like, right, so before I just had mummy, now there's 2 more. Awkward. Like, but then you find yourself kind of like trying to help him kind of understand bits and like get him involved in things, like even if it's something silly like pass me the nappy, or could you do this, like, oh look, like she's looking at you, come here, like she wants to see you, and and that. You do them things. But I was not leaving just like literally the missus and the baby, I was leaving Romeo as well. So it was like, you go to work and I'm worried about 3 people, and it was like, before I met her I just had to worry about myself. So you do have to grow up quick and adapt. But
I suppose as well, Joe, you felt a little bit like obviously if you're working an early shift and you've got in late and you have to sleep, your missus must have felt a little bit isolated, and you must have felt a little bit guilty that you can't get up or do certain things because of that as well.
Right, so you're touching on that now, Roon, and imagine my current week at work, we're having this conversation now, it's the evening, I've got to be up at 3 a.m. to get ready for work, and
mad.
Obviously it's like it's the evening now and all the rest of it. That's my week at work. I'm on 7 earlys, and it's like I will find myself coming home, and I can't just clock off and go to sleep, because you know you're running a house at the end of the day, things need to get done, and it's like it's that balance. And I think one of the hardest parts I've had to deal with has been the whole sort of like, it depends on your relationship as well, because I don't know, they call it being old school, you know, like, oh, men go out, bring home the bacon, blah, blah, blah. But I think us 21st century guys that are like literally taking this whole being a dad thing on and loving it to the max, it's like, you don't clock off when you get home. That isn't your time to go home and rest. You do come home and you might take the baby off your missus, because it's like, no, you need your 5 minutes as well. It don't just go one way.
Yeah, exactly. And also you want to spend that little time with the baby and getting to know the baby, or the baby, you know what I mean, and all of that sort of stuff, and letting them see you, didn't you? Because like I don't know if you was the same, Jay, right? Brandon went through this phase when I went back to work. Was you like both Jay, like I'm saying Jay and there's Jay, like J1 and J2. So when I went back to work, if I left early and Brandon was asleep when I left, and then I come home, he wouldn't look at me. And I say, Brandon, like,
you know what
and he used to
is?
like look and then look past me, much as to say, where you been all day?
You know what that is? Is that, what do you want, bruv?
Where you been all day?
You know,
and I used to feel terrible for it.
He was letting you know that it's not that type of party, bro.
And I used to feel bad for it.
I literally feel like my situation's kind of the opposite, but I feel like mine's from a selfish stance, where like, I don't like leaving when Jazz is awake, for the pure fact of like, it's got to that point where, I don't know if you guys have got this, but it's like, for instance, if I'm like on a good vibe with her, she's laughing, we're having a play, whatever, and it's like, I'll put her down. One, it's like, why are you putting me down? And then second, I'm waving at her, and she's kind of got to that age where she understands that I'm saying bye. And next, you know, I'm leaving the door and I can hear her, what? That breaks my heart, man. It's like, you don't want to leave them like that.
No, of course.
Oh,
mate.
So it's like, when you're coming back to them, I think my first couple initial weeks going work and all the rest of it, coming home, I loved it, because I think, Roon, you speaking about this, and I think Jay was talking about when you move, you know, like when you've got areas for them in the house. Like, Jazz had a corner in the living room, and it was like all her toys. She had like one of them big futon-y things that we like change her on, lay her on, like we'll sit with her on that. Like, and it was like, I come back from work, I pick her up, take her straight to that corner, and I sit there and I talk to her about my day, like she's a grown adult, and I'm like venting or whatever. But it's like, I don't even bring on nothing negative anyway, because the second I see her face, it will dissolve.
Course,
it's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Bruv, that is the best feeling, isn't it? I was just gonna say, when you come home, like now, obviously Brandon's got past that. He knows I leave and I come back and whatever he work like. Let's suss it out.
Yeah, he's not
When
vexed.
you come in there and they look at you and they give you that big smile, bruv, that is like,
Trust me.
it
Yeah,
don't matter what is going on in your day, like
it's gone.
yeah.
It disappears.
the world is right. Everything is right with the world. The second you see that smile,
The scales have
everything is
balanced
right.
themselves out.
Exactly, exactly that.
It's exactly what you need. Like I'm talking, like it's everything you kind of ask for and more. And it's like on top of that, it's like you wait 9 months for them to turn up, and that 9 months feels like 9 years. But they turn up, and literally, it's like everything's on fast forward. Like
Yeah,
I blinked and she was 3 months. I blinked and she was 6, and then I
Yeah.
blinked again. She's 8 months. It's like, where's all the time going? But
Yeah, man. It's true.
it's the day to day, it's the learning, it's the different phases, it's the everything that they're doing and everything they're responding to, and it's just amazing. Every day there's growth, literally every day.
Yeah, man. It is the greatest job in the world.
it is, and that's why you got to be thankful for things like the technology stuff. Because when we are out at work, our missuses can ring us or they can send us photos and
Send a video,
and
or
videos
whatever,
and all
innit?
this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'll ring up now, and Brandon recognising my voice, and Kerry said like you can see him smiling or looking for the phone.
See it there?
Yeah,
Looking around for
Yeah.
where you are.
Yeah,
that's
so when
mad.
you get them things happen, like we're fortunate, I suppose, we're in a time where although we have to work and you've got to be out and you miss things, you are fortunate enough to still be able to see them,
Yeah, definitely.
which is
I'll tell you what though, flipping recently, you lot have your kind of like tips and your recommendations and stuff. I
Yeah.
recently bought one of them Echo Show things.
A
okay.
what?
They're like Amazon Echoes, but they've got screens.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right, they've got these cameras here, and I think they're available on the new iPad. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not plugging products, I'm just saying. Literally, they've got these cameras, but you know the smart cameras where if you move in the room, they follow you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, so it's like, if she walks in the kitchen and she's holding jazz, and I'm like, literally, I think the Amazon thing is called dropping. I'll like, on my phone, I'll drop in on the kitchen. And it's just mad. It
That is
zooms in on her face, it does this, and she can see the little screen where it's doing it, and I can see her face lighting up. But
That's sick.
that generation as well, it's like, yeah, we are so lucky that we
We are.
get
Yeah,
the videos,
definitely.
the pictures, and like, you're there, but you're not there.
Yeah,
You
of
don't
course.
miss much.
That's
Yeah.
like Brandon's like like the baby monitor. You can get that app for that and do some codes and whatever to that particular one. And if I'm out at
Yeah,
work on a night,
can
like, I
log
can
in.
log in and like you can see him and
See it there?
yeah.
See?
Nah,
All
we
the
had-
technology stuff, we are very lucky. We are
It's
blessed.
true. Very lucky, Very. See?
It's literally one of them things, like the amount of things that you kind of, like the cameras that you're talking about, and that, like when you lot went through, I don't know, did you lot have baby showers?
Yes, yeah. I done a surprise one for my missus. You done a reveal, didn't you? So J1 did a did a reveal. I did a surprise baby shower for my missus.
Blimey.
What did you do, J2?
I never would have.
Double
I
J.
never would have been able to get away with a surprise, because if you would have turned up wearing something she didn't like, I would have got beat up in front of everyone. So
But you know what? Though,
that's
I have got a joke though about the surprise, right? So, Giggs's mum do the catering, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember Kerry was like, "Who are you on the phone to?" Because like I had to quickly go out and I said Giggs's mum. She was like, "What are you on the phone to Giggs's mum for?" Like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, so she was a little bit suspicious about it. She didn't know really what it was. And then that was one little clue that nearly gave it away. But then I managed to do a surprise.
I don't know how you did that, bruv.
Yeah.
You did that.
Mate, I
very
don't think
well.
if I'd have been doing anything like that and on the phone, I would have got 21,000 questions.
Yep.
I see. I did have some help
Yep.
from her sister-in-law. So
My missus is like Sherlock Holmes, bruv.
yeah. See, where the sister-in-law dealt with all like the invites and certain other bits,
it kept it
it
away.
away from me. So
That's how you
I was
gotta
in the
do it.
group, started like whatever, and then I left the group, left them doing that. So my phone weren't popping off all the time. So it was I could be a
See,
bit discreet.
really?
Yeah.
If you was a G, you would have muted the group
Yeah. No, but I don't.
and put it in your archive.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. But you know, it was
never
like
know.
yeah, but it kept me like I didn't need to. You know, that
Just
was one
let them
job.
get on with it,
That was
innit?
one
Yeah.
job less. That part of it. Yeah, go on,
Oh,
Jay.
mate.
Sorry, mate. What was your?
I had Yeah, we had found a little gaff in Bethnal Green. It was
Yeah.
really, really nice. I do recommend for private little functions. They're called Chiringuitos, I think they're called, and they're right next to Bethnal Green Station.
Oh, I know where that is. Yeah.
Amazing people in there, really kind, really helpful. Like,
Portuguese
literally.
restaurant, isn't it, Jay?
Yep, and obviously on top of that, my other half is Portuguese, so it was like perfect
Okay.
because the chef got to do Portuguese cuisine, and
Oh,
you know what I mean. There was
lovely.
things like that. So it was nice, and it had the close to home feel that like her family embraced, and like
Yeah.
it was that nice because there was a few relatives that I hadn't met and all that, and it's like they've rocked up and they've seen like little native dishes and stuff on the side, and they're like, okay, this guy really is trying to
They're
impress.
saying
Like,
Jay went in.
Man got
Yeah.
listen, a
I-
man got
I tried.
super brownie points.
That's where like I did as well because
Like, wait, I'm giving
yeah.
a man
round of applause.
a man
So-
really went there.
My missus's mum's Guyanese, so like Giggs's mum got all like the dal puri roti and whatever.
Like,
so
it's you, man.
yeah,
Listen,
we did, Jay.
the
you
proper
man are
thing,
killing it, you know. What?
the proper joint.
But no, we it was that's a mad thing as well, isn't it? Because that's kind of like you're gonna be a dad, you're getting ready to be a dad, but then you're having this party for your missus. Like she's off having the party because our one was just like more of the women. I come set it up, left, and I went back, got some food. You know what I mean?
You mean you say up and got kicked out?
Yeah, but it was like so it's like you got this thing that you're organising, so it kind of keeps you busy
Mad.
before, didn't it? And then
Yeah.
the realisation sets in.
Mad.
Like your one was the reveal, wasn't it?
Yeah, bruv. It was a lot. But
What are you saying? You didn't have no malfunctions, Jay?
bro, listen.
None of that. You go to pop the balloon and it flies off, or like any of that stuff. Or you go to bust the cannon and it jars.
Listen, my missus, would have killed me
And whoever was in charge of whatever.
and somebody else if that would have happened, boy. Like, luckily, she put the balloon in the corner, said to everybody, if you touch the balloon, there's going to be some problems. It was a lot. Like, she was very meticulous with how she planned and executed the plan to have the gender reveal. It was a lot. It was a lot. I just said, all right, whatever you're doing, just let me know, innit? All right, cool. Safe. And that was it.
You know, there's one thing as well, though. I feel like, you know, that I don't know, the Jews look kind of like with me with a baby shower. I completely took over just for the pure fact I was like, right, I don't need nothing that's going to add any sort of stress to her life. So it was like, anything that's going to involve a headache or anything, I'm thinking she's going to get stressed, it's going to stress the baby and da 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 da. And these are things that you think throughout the whole pregnancy, non-stop. Like, I think there was one phrase that she said to me. I remember I got sent this meme on Insta, and it was like, she said to me, babe, look, just abide by this. And literally, it was a couple, I think they were in their 70s, and they were like, what's the secret to a long marriage? And the guy just turns around and says two simple words, yes, dear.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Anything that gets said, yes, dear.
Facts.
So I had that in my head. So when it comes to the baby shower and stuff, I completely took over. But it's like,
Jay, just changing the subject slightly, talking about yes
Good.
dear, do you get you have to multiply, like you have to use the yes dear quite a lot when if you sit down for 2 minutes and then they say, oh, could you just get me? And then all of a sudden there's the brrr that you're saying yes dear too.
mate, you know what it is? I think I don't even get the you don't get the question, you just get the look. The look.
Yeah, you get told.
That is the look.
You feel
And I'm
guilty
like,
like we were saying earlier, you feel guilty for taking a seat.
Yeah, I'm just used to being told to do things now. Like, all right, cool.
It's like back to being a kid again yourself, isn't it? Can you do this? Oh, do this, do that, do this, do that.
All
But
right,
they do enough, so you have to.
All right, no worries, babe. I don't even say
You know
that.
the
I
ones
never
where it's
said
like,
that.
you know, like how they talk to the kids. It's kind of like me and Romeo walking around the house with our heads down, thinking that we both got told off there. But yeah, it's all right. Like you left your boxes on the floor in the bathroom. I've not taken a plate out. Like it's long.
Stop it. It is way too much.
Well, Jay, thank you very much for being the first there.
Before we wrap it, though, is there one gem that you would give to the dads
Nice. Go on.
that are going to be a dad very soon, just to help them on their way?
It's going to sound like a bit of a controversial one, and there might be a few women out there that might think, what? But I had a lot of situations with my missus throughout the pregnancy when, I don't know, man, I don't know what it was, but my like my intuition was telling me something was right and something was right, and it's like, you know, like from what you kind of gathered and whatnot,
Yeah.
you felt certain things. So don't be afraid to shout your calls out when there's calls to be made, and don't be afraid to step up and be the voice and like take the reins a little bit. Like, yeah, they're carrying the child, it's their bodies, it's certain things are going on, but don't forget that baby's yours as well. So be man enough and strong enough and be honest enough with yourself, more than anyone else with yourself, and make them calls, because it was one of them things where, like I said, we had situations where she might have felt something but was in an emotional place and couldn't maybe vocalize it. I stepped up and did, and she thanks me for it regularly, because it was times when you do have that rapport with your birds and it's perfect and you kind of do feel each other and connect on that level, you will speak on their behalf and they'll thank you for it later.
Yeah. Well, Jay, as you said, you got to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we don't want to keep you. We don't want to keep you. We don't want to keep you up much later. But yeah, you are definitely qualification dad.
Definitely.
And thank you very much for your time and your story, bruv.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me, and I've got to say, man, you lot are doing something. Like I said, I would have loved to have had these available to me going through my journey. So for those of you out there that are going to be going through this journey and that are currently going through this journey, take it all in, man. It's free info from regular dudes that live regular life, that learn regularly like the rest of us. It's gems, pure gems.
Facts.
Love my brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Love you.
Probably see you over the Arsenal on the weekend.
keep that off here, yeah?
Jay,
all
love,
right?
brother.
All right, bro. Take it easy, bro.
Later.
Bye.
So, Jay, that was our first guest.
That was the first
What a great guest.
qualification dad.
Yes.
What
a great guest.
Absolute gem of a guest. He gave you some good stuff in there, you know. So just take it on board, man.
It was a good all round.
Yeah.
All round
it was
conversation, because like the work, the shift thing, all of that sort of stuff, and yes, it is mad.
It all takes a thing on, man. It takes its takes on a toll. You know what I mean?
It definitely does.
So you just got to just make sure you're available and just be in the mix with it. And
as we've said all the way along, being present. That's the main thing. And Jay's had to juggle being present with obviously shift work and all that sort of stuff. So.
Working them kind of shifts where you have to start at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And on rotation as well.
And on a rotation. Yeah. And then you throw in the fact of you could get called at any time if you're on that 7-day thing, whatever he said it was. That's crazy, bro.
That is pretty mad. That's pretty mad. All right, he touched across a little product there, Jay.
Yes.
My product of the week last week was obviously them fantastic books.
Oh, great books.
What's yours?
Do you know what it is?
Go on.
Now we've started weaning, yeah?
Yeah.
It's this little Kenwood, like, blender-looking thing.
Okay.
That we've got. It purifies the food and that.
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
Nice.
Sick.
So was it like a not as far as a like NutriBullet then? Like it keeps some or
yeah. What? I've never used a NutriBullet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So
so it literally like it will blitz it down to like nothing, or like it's like, you know, when you make a smoothie juice, like you use it for that, so it kind of takes everything down like to
kind of similar.
Okay.
But this is this would take it more into like a puree. Into a puree sort, basically.
Okay. So it's got a little bit more to it.
It's got a little bit more gumption to it.
Okay.
But it's very quick, boy.
Yeah.
It's rapid.
Nice.
You push the button and
so do you have to let it cool before you put it in, or do you put it in? You can put it in warm.
Okay. Put it in warm. I was doing one earlier, and there's a thing on. Well, it'd have gone by now, so it's not even worth saying it. I was just gonna say there'll be a thing on the story.
No, but you will see. Obviously, Jay and Mabel like are doing the weaning, Jay, Mabel, and Nancy doing the weaning.
Is crazy.
So. And then me and Brandon and Kerry are about to start that journey.
So you will see.
So you'll see on the stories. We'll do a few like little.
Yeah.
What did you call it earlier?
I forgot what it was.
What's in the bowl?
Guess what's in the pot.
Yeah. So
the
we'll do
edition.
Yeah, and then we'll like any of the little purees that we see.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff. You can have a little
put
guess.
them up and you can guess what they are.
Yeah. So there you go.
But so yeah, it's the little Kenwood blender type. It looks like a miniature blender.
Okay.
I don't know what it was called on the website, but it's tiny. You just put all of the food in it. Obviously, Today I did the first one because I got back quite early from work today. So I did one today. It was I'm not even gonna say where it was, but put the little thingies in the blender, and Nance was like, yeah, just keep a little bit of the water back. So when you
loosen it in case it gets too thick.
Just to loosen it in case it goes quite thick. But it's sick, absolutely sick.
Nice.
So it's easier than having one of them hand blenders. I know some people have got them and they're easy to use. Nance's mum uses one, and when she does Mabel's Sunday dinners, you know what I mean? She has vegetables and potatoes and that, you know what I mean? So,
Hey.
yeah, she's in the mix, the girl. I'm telling you, she's on it. She's on it. She ain't had no meat yet, but she's in the mix with the veg.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, man. That's my little product of the week. Little Kenwood blender. I think you can get. There's loads of different ones though. You can get. I think there's a Tommy Tippy one.
Okay.
That I've seen, and there's that one that we've got, and I'm sure there's loads of others. But when you're gonna start weaning, it'd be a good idea to get one of them. It's bang on, spot on.
Nice.
So
there you
that
go.
is the product of the week this week.
There you go. So right, you've had me and Jay talking our stuff. You had qualification, Dad. You've had product of the week.
Oh. It is that time, isn't it?
What's that?
Are we doing it?
Go on.
Are we doing the dad joke this week?
Yeah, go on. You got one.
I ain't no.
Oh.
I'm gonna look for one.
All right. Just set it up for a joke and then
I know.
anti-climax.
That could have been a dad joke right there. just that little bit in itself.
That is like that is one thing you'll find out as a dad. You know, you set things up and then you can't even follow through.
I'll get killed all the time for my jokes. If you saw the look Marley gave me the other day when I said a joke to her, she was like,
but it's weird though, because you step in here, you get in front of the mic, you talk about dad joke and they disappear.
Everything just runs. It cuts out.
So while we're talking about running, we're going to run this week and then we're going to get back on the other side for another episode next week.
Is that what you done?
Yeah, why not?
That was so smooth in that. I love it, man. I love it. Listen.
Hit us up on all the socials. You got at Couple of Dads Podcast on Instagram.
At Couple of Dads Podcast on TikTok.
At Couple of Dads Pod on Twitter.
There you go. And
Couple of Dads Podcast on Facebook.
That's it.
YouTube. Everywhere.
Everywhere you get your podcast from, that is where we are.
There you go.
Listen. Make sure you do me a favour though when you're listening to us, yeah? Make sure you follow us. Make sure you leave a review.
And subscribe.
That's all. It's not hard.
And as we say all the time, if you've got something a little bit more personal and you don't want to leave it on a comment or you don't want to leave it on whatever,
that's it.
info@coupleofdads.co.uk and we'll get back to you because we're always here.
That's it. Oh, before we go
on.
Massive shout out to Finchy who follows us on Instagram. He just had a baby. He said it's been a whirlwind 48 hours. So big up to you and the family, mate.
Nice one. Yeah. Congratulations, mate. All the best. And keep listening and hopefully these will help you through your journey as well. And next week we've got another dad on.
That's it, bruv. Oh, that was definitely the wrong one.
That's the one I wanted before. So we've got to swap them buttons back.
We've got to turn them back. I was going for this one.
From a couple of lads to a couple of dads.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Adios.
Peace.